I've waited till my honeymoon phase with this game was over before I even began on this video, because sometimes you just beat a game and swear that it's the tits, and then you're never really compelled to replay or think on it about a week or two after completion. Now that my whole pay pig worship era I had going on with this one is over.
Hey, how are you?
Really good, Goddess. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I can safely say that Mario Wonder fucking slaps. For over 10 years, it felt like 2D Mario was the obvious cash grab. As a huge Mario fan, times were tough because I've yearned for that shit that turned me autistic. I'm talking swaggy locales, new original characters, some of that good old soul, if you will. So seeing most of this franchise delegate itself to just becoming safe releases was heartbreaking. Nothing lived up to that more than the new Super Mario Bros. Series.
Hey, fuck you, man!
Excluding the first game, it was like 2D Mario was just comfortable being this safe series of games with zero wow factor. Like, come on, no one's gonna start stimming playing this snooze cruise. It was so bad, I remember back in Super Mario Bros. U being excited that they added in a tacked on challenge mode just because it was something I haven't seen before. I was desperate, what can I say? But let's look back even further in order to capture a sort of comparison for some of that so-called good shit we're looking for. Before the new series, it seemed that 2D Mario was always stretching for new heights. Of course, you got the OG granddaddy over here establishing what some Mario is supposed to look like. But I want to focus in on Mario 3 and Mario World. This is where peak is found. In Mario 3's case, we gotta give it up for the tight controls and those more unique world/levels.
Tight, yeah!
Personally, I'd say the same goes doubly for Mario World, which for damn near 2 decades stood as my personal peak for 2D Mario. We got the Yoshi, the secret exits, a better world map, special worlds, and just so much more shit on top of memorable levels. After that, it felt like we were hit with some radio silence. Mario was making waves in 3D and going bananas on his spin-offs, but it seemed like it was time to move on from 2D. There were your remakes and all that, but it felt like we were pretty much clipped in terms of some stellar 2D Mario. We had 2 fucking new Super Mario Bros. Games in the same year. When all hope seemed basically lost, we were hit with what seemed to be a farewell for the 2D games, and that would be Mario Maker. But it came out on Wii U, so we needed a sequel for the console that actually made money. Mario Maker was a banger. Nintendo said, well, fuck this, we can't do this shit, you do it. And honestly, given their track record, I was down with that. There have been so many godly levels made on this game. Some shitpost ones, and really, it was all just good fun.
You said this level is an ode to your favorite president?
I better see, like, John F. Kennedy for getting us to space. Need to be my homie? If you're in the chat, dude, you're a homie. Oh my god, it is Jake! No!
I gotta give credit, this felt like a perfect grade for 2D Mario. Way better than ending it off with the new series at least. But then, BAM! Mario Wonder hits the scene, and I'm looking at it, and the first thing I think is, holy shit, Mario stopped taking Xanax. The animation work put in made me a bit excited for the game, because it looks like someone at Nintendo was actually giving a shit. But I didn't want to get too excited. In the back of my head, I'm looking at this game like, alright, they've got some animations, but our levels still look like tile sets here, and someone could just make this shit in Mario Maker anyways. Then out of nowhere, my nuts get slapped, and I enjoy it. That goddamn Wonder Flower shows itself, and it's a barrage of something we've been missing in 2D Mario. Unpredictability. Let me explain. With some unpredictability, it makes it so hard to get fatigued from playing this game's levels, because on top of constantly throwing in some new stuff to the base level, you then get whipped by whatever the Wonder Flower does for said level. You're getting a double whammy of new stuff, so by the end of a level, I constantly found myself saying, alright, one more.
I wonder what Goombas taste like.
Oh, I got a mushroom you could taste right here. What's even crazier is that this game definitely took a page out of 3D World's book and made an attempt to have every level throw something new at the player. Ideas are constantly being shuffled in and out of the mix, and it's just what 2D Mario especially needed. What I'm getting at here is that even without the Wonder Flower, we have a pretty good game on our hands. But throwing them in there just makes for that pizzazz I like in my Mario. Not to mention the amount of new enemies and actual new shit that has rarely been present in the new series. So on top of some good ass levels, rotating new ideas with the pizzazz of the Wonder Flowers, I got to also mention an addition that I didn't think would be so integral to my monkey enjoyment of this game. It's the badges, specifically the red ones. Normally, 2D Mario would be like a 3-button affair. You got run, jump, and spin jump. Spin jump rarely being used, right? Running gets some extra mileage for also being a hold button, and you know, that's your controls wrapped up tightly. But this time around, thanks to the badge selection, we get 4 buttons, and you get to decide whatever the hell that 4th button does. I love that each badge at least gets a chance to shine via the badge challenges, and they're all pretty fun to use. The dolphin kick makes underwater fun. I repeat, underwater is now fun. Sound a goddamn alarm. We have hit peak. Stop fucking playing with this game. Underwater's fun, baby. As for the new power-ups, you know, they're pretty cool. I'm just more so impressed with how the core of 2D Mario is so elevated by the other stuff this game decided to step with. The drill dough definitely has to be my new favorite. Ceiling and floor shenanigans go very hard. If I had the skills for some of the sick bubble jumps, I'd love that power-up even more, but, you know, I still enjoy its inclusion. I do hate how the elephant stuff looks, but fine, it's okay. I'd rather have Mario fucking say wowie zowie than meowing at me, so I'll let him slide this time.
That goo up there looks tasty.
How about the goo down here? You know, I could just grab you by the back of the stem and pull the tip of my... The cherry on top has got to be how they handled collectibles. Since there are different toads selling shit in whatever crack corner you find throughout the game, the baby geniuses in charge of this game were like, wait, let's bring back some purple currency from Odyssey, and it works like a goddamn charm. The 3 purple coins per level are hidden all clever-like, and are actually worth a damn. The game also thankfully tells you with a check mark whether or not everything for a level has been found, which looks good and gives me a fix of that good old dopamine. It's very nice to 100%. Now that I sucked the game's cool cock for long enough, I've got to get into my gripes. It's really only with one category, but how the hell do you drop the ball this hard after building all this sick-ass momentum? I'm talking boss fights. It's already sad that not every world ends with a boss fight, but the fact that all we get are Bowser Jr. and Airship Button for the whole game, save for Bowser of course, is so fucked up. I'll credit the last Bowser Jr. fight since it was enjoyable, but sheesh, the lineup here was so disappointing. I was hoping the game would take a page out of New Super Mario Bros. For the boss lineup. No, not the Koopalings. I'm talking the first one where we get cool shit like the Monty Mole Tank and Petey. Then sure, some of the bosses were a bit wimpy, but it was sick seeing different shit at the end of each world. The airships just having the machine button is also real disappointing since you can just run through them, you know, willy-nilly, all that stuff.
Notice anything unusual? Anything nearby?
And as you're struggling to breathe with your pedals wrapped around the head, I'll just be going back and forward, pulling you back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. The Bowser fight at the end was cool, but let's be real. When it comes to Mario, the real end lies in those post-game levels. And to end it all off, your final challenge, we have one of the best levels of all time. I love this one. The final test. This one makes sure that you mastered every single action badge, and it's amazing. I wish more levels use this mechanic where you swap between badges mid-level, but it's a nice surprise to save for the finale. Like, this one is tough as nails, and it's also extremely varied, thankfully, because you're using the badges, and it's just cool. It's cool shit. I love it. It's a very nice little ribbon to just end the whole game off on. Like, that was awesome. Throughout its runtime, and especially seeking out to 100% it, Mario Wonder is definitely one of the greats. I'm throwing it up there with my beloved Mario World and Mario 3. We have finally seen another 2D banger. It only took about 20 some odd years, but fuck it. We're eating good. I love this game.